Hey guys, Alex Newman here. It is a great honor and a great pleasure to be with you today. It's an honor to be working alongside Rachel and Aaron and some of the other superstars, some of the superheroes involved in this incredible international campaign to protect our children from perverts, and yes, I said perverts, at the international level seeking to sexualize them. In particular, those at the World Health Organization, or as some people affectionately call it, the World Homicide Organization. So the WHO obviously is primarily, at least on paper, focused on health. And a lot of my work over the years, I cover globalism extensively for a variety of publications, including the New American and the Epoch Times, and my own personal website, libertysentinel.org, and different shows. So I've been focusing on the WHO and other UN agencies for virtually my entire career in journalism. And WHO is definitely at the top of the list when it comes to the worst offenders. UNESCO is also right up there. And in fact, what you frequently find is collaboration between UNESCO, which is the UN Education Agency, and the WHO, which is the World Health Organization. Both UN agencies, both passionately dedicated to the sexualization of children, the indoctrination of children. And one of the first really significant documents that came on my radar screen that was just so over the top, and I've known the WHO has been working to undermine national sovereignty and usurp power over global health and even global sex ed standards for a long time, but a document in 2018 caught my attention, and it was absolutely astounding. Now, this is one of those examples of the UN different agencies collaborating. So you had UNESCO on the one hand, which was one of the lead agencies, and then also the WHO. This document was called International Technical Guidance on Sexuality Education, and it purports to provide an evidence-based approach to teaching young children all about sex and homosexuality and gender confusion and so much more. But I mean, you don't even have to read all that far into the document to realize their so-called evidence is not like evidence that normal people would think of as evidence. This is really just activist, extremist organizations putting out press releases and junk studies pretending like this is evidence. One of the big ones, of course, is Planned Parenthood, one of the largest murderous organizations in the world, butchers more children than almost any other organization in the planet through abortions and things like this, hundreds of thousands just in the United States alone, and of course it's very active all over the world. In fact, this organization was busted in testimony before the U.S. Congress about its role in forced abortions in communist China, along with the UN Population Fund and other agencies. So these are not nice people. Another one of the outfits providing all the evidence is called Outright Action International. It's a radical LGBT hate group that hates Christians. And so, folks, what we're dealing here with, and this report is just the tip of the iceberg, but some of the things they talk about in here, you almost can't believe. I actually can't say them on this video, some of them, because they are so grotesque. But I want to give you just a little sneak peek. If there are any children in the room, you may want to have them step out or cover their ears. But, folks, some of this stuff is just really bad. So it talks about, for example, sexual pleasure for children starting before they even turn 10. It recommends that at age 9, children should be taught that masturbation is fine, and they should be able to describe responses to sexual stimulation. Folks, this is for 9-year-olds, okay? I wouldn't think this is appropriate for anyone, certainly not for 9-year-olds, certainly not in a classroom setting with other children and a government employee. This is really, really outrageous. And it gets worse as you go up in age. By age 9, again, the children are supposed to demonstrate respect for diverse practices related to sexuality, which, I don't want to say use your imagination about what that means, but I think everybody knows what we're talking about here. And by age 12, they're supposed to understand that various forms of sodomy are pleasurable and supposedly more safe than regular sex. So, folks, we're talking here about little kids who haven't even gone through puberty. It is absolutely crazy. They also say that by age 12, the UN has these learning objectives in this document, again, produced by the WHO, saying that children by age 12 must learn to support the right for everyone to express their sexual feelings. What does that even mean, right? Well, according to the UN, sexual feelings is basically hedonism. Total divorce from morality, total divorce from a biblical understanding of why God designed sex. And folks, it gets significantly worse from there. The document's filled with references to combating homophobia and transphobia, which these are, of course, terms applied to Christians and others who disagree with this stuff being taught to children. It is a blatant effort to demonize anyone who stands against this stuff. So not only are they indoctrinating and sexualizing your kids, they're teaching them that anybody who disagrees with this indoctrination is a hater or has some sort of phobia, which, by the way, phobia is an irrational fear. So this is what they're grooming your children for, folks. Also, by age 9, the children, according to these international technical guidance standards, they're supposed to be able to explain how someone's gender identity may not match their biological sex. Right? At the same age, again, age 9, they're supposed to be able to demonstrate respect for the gender identity of others. Okay, before they reach age 10, they must not just accept but respect the fact that gender confusion is there and that it is strongly correlated with mental distress, suicide, and more. At age 5, the kids are supposed to be able to define gender and biological sex and describe how they're different. So, folks, they're getting these ideas into your kids literally in kindergarten. Right? 5-year-olds are supposed to be able to express respect for homosexual parenting. It says all people should be able to love who they want. Okay, so, folks, this is really, really wild. And again, we're only talking about the things that are safe to discuss. Or at least relatively safe to discuss, as the Bible tells us, in Ephesians 5, some of these things are so shameful, it's shameful to even speak of them. And so, we're not getting into some of the really, really horrific stuff. But, folks, there is so much more in this document. And if all you knew about the WHO was that this was what they wanted to teach your children, that should be more than enough to say this organization has no business being anywhere near children. They have no business receiving American money. They have no business receiving taxpayer money of any kind. I didn't mention, but the guy who runs the WHO at the moment, Dr. Tedros Ghebreyesus, he's been on my radar for a long time. Before taking over the WHO, he was a Politburo member of the Tigray People's Liberation Front. This is an ethno-Marxist terrorist organization in Ethiopia that wanted to exterminate certain people groups, namely the Amhara. And if you talk to Ethiopians about it, a lot of them will be able to tell you about this. And then, of course, he was put into place by the Communist Chinese. I actually spoke with diplomats in Geneva who said the CCP delegation, the Chinese Communist delegation, was going around bribing and bludgeoning, twisting arms to get people to support this man to take over. So forget what they did to us during COVID. That was bad enough. Forget the fact that they have a communist terrorist running the place. Recognize that these people are a direct threat to your children. And if you read the fact checks claiming that, this is no big deal, what you'll find is that the fact checks actually confirm everything that we're saying. Right? Here is one by AFP that I'm looking at right now, claiming that it's misleading when we say that the WHO's agenda is to sexualize children. So to put that out there, they went to an expert, Eva Goldfarb, an advocate of public health and the sexualization of children. She's from Montclair State University. On January 11th, she said, this post does not differentiate between the standards that the guidelines say need to be included and those that may be included but are optional. Oh, how nice. The WHO is going to give us some options about how we sexualize our 5-year-old children. Folks, what comes to mind here is millstone, and frankly, these people are dangerous. They should not be receiving our tax money, and it's a great honor to be working alongside all of you as we work to protect our children from people who would seek to sexualize them, from people who would seek to expose them to obscenity and filth, from people who, frankly, I think ought to be prosecuted for coming after other people's children. This is an outrage. It's a crime against humanity, and thank you again for allowing me to be a small part of this. I pray that God will be with you all in your efforts. I look forward to working with you as we move along here, and thanks again to Rachel and all the great folks who put this event together. May God bless you and keep you, and until next time, God bless you all.